Welcome back to another exciting episode of Break the Apocalypse podcast. This is your weekly look at the hellscape that we find ourselves living in forevermore. Winter edition, freezing, cold as fuck. Joining me on this journey through the apocalypse is none other than Shaheen. Shaheen's got a little booze there. Got a little booze, do you?
A little bit. Yeah, I'm going to get a little twisted tonight, man. Why not? It's a new year, you know?
Yeah, new year.
Get a little crazy on the show, you know?
New drink. And of course, Mr. B Show, Brian Burley. How we doing this week?
Doing good, man. Trying to stay warm.
You stay warm, but you stay burly. You know, the more burly you get, B Show, it don't matter if it gets cold. Because you're
like a walrus.
It's gonna keep you warm like a walrus. My name is John Draper, people. Thanks for joining us on this little voyage into infinity. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Come in out of the cold. I know it's fucking freezing. Have a good time. Get a hot cocoa, maybe a hot toddy, and just put your feet by the fire. And we're going to take you on a little journey. But little program note, like we always do in the beginning of the podcast, you don't get the full show. No. We only do that like 2 times a year. The only way to get the full, unedited, uninterrupted podcast in all of its apocalyptic glory is by going to patreon.com/break the app. $5 gets you tons of bonus content, all unedited shows, every single freaking one of them, plus monthly bonus question and answer shows made up exclusively of Patreon members. One of them is going to drop this weekend. Who gets to ask the questions for those question and answer shows? Well, it's none other than people like Vince Chichi and Jose G and Mr. Isaacs and Bob Fernando and Nate Tabor and Johnny Florida and Bruno Camano and JR and Charlie and Digital Legend and Mike Brown and Jay and Brandon McIntyre and Kerry Goldberg and Sal Phoenix and Cockboy and Gary Thorpe and Vic Condor. We've got John Hennef, we've got Nathan Explosion, Justin Ludwig, Anthony Alston, Terrell Thibodeau, Leonard Van New, don't forget Cushion Pusher, Larry Trailer, Michael, Randy Shepard, Joe Punches, Dirk Bagdarrell. Oh, I like you did there, Dirk. Jamie Pennycook is with us. Don Tony, Jarrett Maloney, Walter Villani, Darren Gatt, Cassette Classics 86, Tyler Simpson, Mr. Austin Red is in the house, Lewin Houston, Steve Shaw, Senator Bravo, Stephen Teasdale, Marquise Johns is here, Ruben, Anthony Jeter, Joe, Stello Eccles, Mr. Ronald Anderson, Adam Bergone, the one and only Amy Foley, Jeff Lippity Lip Lipman, JB Buff Bell, Jarek Braxton, Kevin Mathurin is here, Michael Smith, Rivers Johansson, Jude, Matt, John Bernstein, Cloudy, Joseph Marr, my pal Willie Thompson, Chris Matthews, Roxy Mike, J-Rub 92, we have Texas Sal, Mark Gordon, the Purple Haze, Danny Douglas, Paul Stockwell, John Garcia, Fatty 316, Richard Todd, James Gruesome, Daniel Clark, Deliverance, Christopher Kane, and the always half Persian but 100% adorable Drew Yari. Let's get to the pluggy plugs. We've got the Deathmatch Outlaws. We got the Drew Yari Show. Guess what? He's on Patreon. Cassette Classics 86 on YouTube. The Down Under Thundercast, the wrestling icon, Maverick himself, Mr. Don Tony. Necromaniacs Podcast. Fantastic show you should be checking out for all your horror movie needs. The Inhuman Experience Podcast, Ringsiders Wrestling on YouTube, Modern City Machine Guns, The Garden of Doom, Off the Mat, Old Guy, Metalcast, funkbetty.com. Get yourself some nice warm clothes for the winter, for the cold. Go to funkbetty.com right now. Check it out. MJW Games, Cherry Jesus. Guess what? Our friend is on YouTube. The Red River Podcast. My boy Sam is killing it with his band Playing Dead. And of course, the Bayou Geeks with our friends Fatty 316, the High Marks Podcast, Midnight Mass Creature Cast, the Weekly Detour. That's our good friend Anthony Alston and his good buddy Teddy. We got Guns and Geeks Podcast. And of course, Planet Mondo. That's the Planet Mondo Podcast and on YouTube. Plus Halloween 365. It's a podcast and it's on YouTube. And Synthetic 16, my band. Go check out some songs. Spell out the 16. Go to Spotify, go to Apple Music, go to Bandcamp and download my album Too Far Along. I could have done that for like 5 more minutes, but I spared you all. Did a new Planet Mondo hit tonight, Shaheen, on the Patreon?
So yeah, they're on Patreon, and there's actually a bunch of episodes that are released already, but they're just kind of going through the platform. So iTunes is waiting to approve it and stuff like that. I know Spotify So if you listen through Spotify, it's definitely up there. But yeah, I put some advanced episodes for the Patreons that are not out yet. So definitely go check that out. And as far as the YouTube, I haven't put up any content recently. But my friend actually, shout out to her, Nas. She actually hit me up today and she was like, "Yo, I saw you got gas station tacos. I have an idea. Would you be interested?" So I was like, "Yeah, of course, I'm open to it." So she wants to try a bunch of weird fucking foods and review it. So I'm gonna start doing that on YouTube with her.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, she's
So
going.
for you, would that be like lettuce and like an
Yeah.
apple, maybe some water
Yeah.
from like? Are you gonna try like a bottle of water?
Yeah, basically. Nah,
Whoa.
she's going to the Asian market tomorrow after work, and she said she's gonna surprise me with a bunch of weird food. So I should have some episodes tomorrow. I don't know.
Somebody's eating something's dick tomorrow.
I don't want to eat any dick tomorrow
dick.
at all.
Yummers. Bisho, anything new going on with the Halloween 365 podcast?
Yeah, on Tuesday, I stupidly stayed up on a work night until 2 in the morning recording a Scream retro review since everyone's talking about it right now. I wanted to go back and see if it had all lived up to the hype or held up over time, and it really didn't. So
No.
Okay.
I did about 35 minutes on that. I put the episode up, access for Patreon members only, and then this weekend, once the movie's released, I'm going to make it public. So you got still another day or two to get it in there before anybody else.
Yeah.
Are you guys seeing it? You guys seen
the
Scream?
The new one? It didn't come out yet.
No, it's coming out Friday. I'm saying, are you going to see it this weekend?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to see it this week. I was just telling Bisho off the air. I think I'm going to check it out because it doesn't look like dopey comedy-ish. Normally they throw that in the trailer to make you hate it. Scream movies aren't that good. I don't know. They're okay. They're not terrible per se, but it's just like, I don't know what to think of the Scream movies. I really don't. I would have to go back and look at them. Somehow they manage a way to make these every couple of years. There was one, about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe. I know that.
Less than that, probably like 5 years, maybe.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see the progress of Courtney Cox's Botox. That's really how she's trying to fight middle age. Really, the Scream franchise has become Courtney Cox fighting middle age. If you really want to get it technical about it. Whereas like Arquette, they haven't been married for a while. He's just comfortable being a weird middle-aged person. There's just something that happens to people that just don't want to face middle age. So I wonder if the villain in Scream is like a Botox character. That would be kind of.
She rips off the mask and it's just a giant clock underneath. No.
Yeah, it's like low-grade Botox. But I might check it out. I don't know. I might. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know.
I already got tickets, man. I'm supposed to see it this weekend. I already bought tickets. So
whoa.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I might go. I don't know. It's a long weekend. It's a holiday weekend. A lot of people are off Monday. So you give me an idea. Maybe I'll go check it out. Who the fuck knows? I don't know about where everybody lives. Obviously, we got people that live pretty much all over the goddamn place. But my median temperature this week in my area was about 11 degrees and it got below 3. And it's been like we've had ice in places that you're just not supposed to have ice. And I've put salt down so much. Holy shit. I salted my driveway like an Italian salts pasta in the fucking water. What was the weather like by you, Bisho? Did you guys get like in the single digits?
Yeah, for a couple of days it was, I don't know, somewhere between like 7 and 15 degrees. But ours seemed to warm up quicker than you guys. It seemed to linger up there more.
Yeah. I don't know about what's going on by you there weather-wise, Shah, because I didn't get a lot of snow either. I got very little snow and it just all turned to ice and it just kind of fucked up the whole week.
Yeah, we haven't got much snow at all. I think we got it on Friday. I went to Baltimore on Saturday, so I think it snowed the day before. On Friday, we got a little snow, but it was out of the way by Saturday. And ever since then, it's just been like, I don't know, like 35 degrees,
oh, wow,
40
35.
degrees, 40 degrees. Like it's not too bad at all. I'm not really experiencing winter full blast right now.
Yeah, it got up to 34 today, but it's going down to 3 by Saturday. With the wind chill, I think it was a little below 0. Oh, it sucks. You think you get used to it when you've been alive for 6,000 years like myself, but I don't know what it is. I think I know why all the old people have been going to Florida from the Northeast for the past 80 years. I get it now. I totally get it. But as much as me and my wife hate the winter, I do like seasons. She lived in the West Coast. She lived in the Pacific Northwest for like 14 years, and then she lived in the West Coast for a couple of years. I like seasons, but I like complaining about them. Does that make sense, Bisho?
We're Americans. I think that's the staple of Americana.
Yeah. I mean, you think, well, hey, Drapes, why don't you just move someplace where you don't have to shovel or dig out your car, or like, worry about sliding, like, across the driveway like a penguin, like an emperor penguin on a home video. I envy people that don't have to deal with winter, like real winter, like single digits below. I'm pretty sure it's going to go below zero for a little bit. And when it's that cold, nobody wants to fucking do shit. Like we didn't want to, you don't even want to cook. It's like, it's so cold. Like, I don't even want to get off the like, I don't want to do anything. You know what I'm talking about? You guys get that? Like, where it's like, even though it's not like, 3 feet of snow, the fact that it's so cold, you're like, I don't really want to do anything. You ever get like that, Sean?
No, I'm with you, dude. Over the last, again, it's not too cold here, but as soon as it hits like, below 30, I've realized my spirit animal is actually a sloth. Like, next lifetime, I want to be a sloth, man. I want to live life at the pace of a sloth.
Wow.
I want to go slow, bro.
You've become a lazy American. I mean, what a dream for a young ISIS member to move here.
Made the American dream come true.
Yeah, like you went from trying to destroy the country to just blending in. I mean,
really,
you are the American dream. You are the American. You should get a shirt that says "I am the American dream."
Can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, why the F not? I mean, seriously, right? B-Show, don't you think Shah is really the American dream?
He is. He should he should make tank tops with polka dots, but instead of solid color polka dots are like the flag from Iran.
Yeah, like what? Yeah, what's no? I'm confusing it with the Iraq flag. Is that the one with the curvy sword? Is that the Iraq? Is that Iraq's flag?
I think that's Saudi Arabia.
Is it Saudi Arabia's?
Yeah.
I know they love curvy swords.
Yeah, that's Saudi Arabia, bro.
Love it. Love the curvy sword.
Oh yeah, no, John, you're kind of right. It's an emblem that looks like a curvy sword. Let me see.
Yeah, it looks like a bent dick. Like, you know what I mean? Like a cock that's like a little crooked. Like only
it looks like an Italian flag with a little like Mercedes emblem in the middle.
Yeah, we changed our flag though. The lion one. If you wear that, they'll kill you.
Really? Oh, you changed your flag?
Yeah, that's the revolution one. They changed it.
Oh, okay. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna read the temperature for you tomorrow and Saturday where I live. You ready? I'm in upstate New York. Okay, right now it's 29. And guess what it's gonna be tomorrow? Everybody ready? High of 32. Guess what the low is? Anybody want to take a guess?
3.
Yeah.
-1. And
Lovely.
then for the weekend, it's high will be 11 on Saturday with the low 0. It's like, the fuck, man? Like, what am I gonna do? What you gonna do with 0? You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of plans you think you're making? Oh, there's of course wind chill advisories everywhere. And it might rain. Oh, awesome. Dude, raining at 0, doesn't that seem great? What could go wrong?
Wait, raining at 0?
Yeah.
Is it just like icicles pelting you in the face? How does that work?
I don't want to know. I'm being honest with you. I don't want to know. I really just don't. I'm so sick of it. I'm sick. You know what I hate about this the most though? It's when you own a car. Like, I could deal with it most of the time that I lived in like Brooklyn and the years I lived in Manhattan. Manhattan in the winter is interesting. It depends on where you live, because it's not like a Brooklyn suburb where like people just don't like shovel. Like, Manhattan's got its shit together. I mean, you'd be surprised. Like people, it's shoveled because the people that own those buildings are facing like fucking massive lawsuits and shit. So but like Brooklyn, you get like the lazy neighbor or like the old people, like, just don't shovel and try to ride it out. And you can't, then you get to like that part. My favorite in Manhattan though, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, Shah, is like in the winter when you get to a corner and all the snow has been pushed up on the corner for like a week. And it's just like you have to go through like the 3 feet of snow. It's people that have been to Manhattan. It's basically, it's like, oh yeah, I can walk by this Wendy's and this hand job place. Well, let me just cross at the street here. No, you can't get anywhere near it. The intersection is where they put the snow. I don't understand it.
Yeah, but they do that. They do that in Philly too. I mean, I haven't been to New York in the wintertime because I typically try to avoid New York in the winter. Just because like Christmas time, people go over there. It's hectic. I don't want to deal with that. But it's the same shit in Philly, man. I mean, every corner they just fucking make a mountain of snow, and after a few weeks, it's like disgusting. Because there's like crackhead.
Oh yeah, from pollution too. Don't forget, it's also pollution. That's what people don't understand is that that beige snow color is it's from car pollution. You know what I mean? B-Show, these are big city problems. A country mouse like you probably just don't understand.
That used to happen in my neighborhood. Like one year when I was like 12, we had a week off of school after Christmas because there was so much snow. And every time they came through and plowed, it'd go right up onto the corner because we had a corner lot in where our house was. So we like dug out like a little tunnel and made a fort. We had fucking snowball fights and shit,
In a
like a little
fort?
mountain.
Did you guys play kick
Yeah.
the can too?
We made a fucking snowball fort. We didn't
Mm.
play kick the can.
You didn't play kick the can?
No.
Did you guys get like a stick and like a wheel and just put the stick in the wheel and run down the street?
No.
Didn't do that? You guys didn't do that? You didn't play
No.
kick the can, did you?
No.
Play kick the can, did you?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm ever gonna be in a place that doesn't have snow. That kind of sucks. I'm like 3/4 of the way done with all being alive, and I'm like, fuck, man, that's gonna suck. And it's like I feel so bad for old people in this weather. Like they just can't do dick. Like you see that random old guy trying to dig his car out, and you're like, oh, I want to help, but I kind of don't care. You know, is that the duality of man, B show, you think?
I don't know. Never really thought about it much that way before.
You know, I'm talking about, like, it's like, oh, there's an old person. It's like, oh, I can't really, I can't. It's really big in the city, like in like Manhattan, is helping old people cross the street. That's a sad. Let me tell you something. Senior citizens that live alone in Manhattan is some sad shit. I got
Groceries too. Groceries. That's a big
groceries are big.
Yeah.
Well, it's different now because everybody orders groceries. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right.
Like,
yeah, you got the
like they'll do Postmates. These people, like if they don't know anything about the internet, but they could probably order some food or some shit.
Instacart.
Yeah, Instacart and shit. But I remember like there was like just seeing random old people trying to get around the city, and I'm like, why are you out? Like somebody do something for these people. And of course, I couldn't be bothered because I'm just so busy. But I felt bad. I felt bad, but I didn't really do anything. It's the juxtaposition of man. But before we go any further, I want to thank Kimmy Kincaid for jumping in here last week, doing her first podcast. She had a fun time, and she's going to be helping with that Synthetic 16 t-shirt giveaway. So we're going to be giving away some shirts. Hit us up. Let us know if you're some shirts. I'll mail that shit to you. It's really not complicated, people. It's really not that complicated. Of course, we're talking about the Patreon people. We'll get some of those out. Maybe I'll get some other shirts out. I don't know. But I want to take a quick minute to acknowledge someone I know passed away. Speaking of the bands, a guy by the name of Tim Gillis. Tim Gillis was a musician and an engineer in the Northeast here. He worked with a lot of big people through his career. Some names that you would definitely recognize, like Thursday and Taking Back Sunday. And he worked bands like in the hardcore scene, like Agnostic Front and Marauder. I'm just naming some bands. But Tim owned a studio called Big Blue Meanie that I got the privilege to record out of in the late 90s. And a lot of other people did too. My brother Mark recorded out of there. I don't know if my brother Mike ever did, but Tim owned it. He was an engineer. He was a pretty fun guy. He was like the boss man behind Big Blue Meanie. I got to meet some cool people through there. I recorded 2 records there, one in Utica, New York, and the other one in Jersey, Hoboken, I guess, border. He passed away. And I saw a lot of people in the music scene, pay him his respect. Nice guy, cool guy. Everyone I know seemed to know him. He had a hand in a lot of people's careers. So rest in peace to the close friends and family of the crazy Tim Gillis. He was a fun guy. You guys would like the guy like him. It's the kind of guy who walked in a room, was just like big personality, like, and smart. I don't think there's a person I know in the music industry that isn't connected to that guy in some way. It's weird. I was looking up his bio, and I knew he had worked with some big people, but I didn't realize he worked with some people like myself that like aren't big people, that are just people that recorded like maybe Small Potatoes people. But a lot of famous people checking out. Jesus Christ, have you guys noticed that?
Dude, a lot of people just checking out in general. I feel like, and it's getting younger and younger too, man. I know one of my like really good friends just called me yesterday, and he told me that he's got like heart failure now and all kinds of shit. I'm like, bro, you're 30,
your age, guy, your age,
32.
Oh, did he have any underlying health problems?
Not that he knew of. This is all news to him. So he's on blood pressure meds and heart medication now. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, you're fucking like 32 years old.
Oh my God, is he a big guy?
I mean, he's
bad habits.
Not fat. He's a big dude, but he's not fat. Like he's just a stocky dude,
Okay.
But I mean, that was my roommate, man. I actually just did an episode with him. We talked about it on there. Yeah, it's fun.
I gotta check that out.
bro.
Yeah, I just saw that something that hit the feed. B-Show, have you noticed a lot of people checking out?
Yeah, it was like the end of 2021 was kind of quiet, and then all of a sudden it was like Betty White, Bob Saget, this guy, my buddy. I mean,
Yeah, Sidney
it's just
Poitier.
crazy. Yeah, Sidney Poitier. I mean, just
Um,
it's
I think
hot
we're
and heavy
forgetting. I
in
think we're forgetting some other
2022.
people too. I know
I think
Harry
so.
Reid
Yeah.
also died. He was an older
Just
guy too.
wrestlers. I mean, wrestlers dropped
Peter
left. And you,
Bogdanovich,
yeah.
director Peter Bogdanovich. Um, it's wild. Betty White, obviously, a lot of people were super upset about that because she was on the verge of turning 100, and I think that's why she died, because there was just too much pressure on her to turn 100. She couldn't just turn 100, like it's such a milestone thing. But Sidney Poitier, that, let me tell you something. When I was a young kid in the 80s going to acting classes and taking acting classes, and like acting people, treated Sidney Poitier like the legend that he was. I know, like, my generation and your generation he wasn't as present. But when you look into what that guy sort of accomplished, first of all, his voice, oh my, what a voice on Sidney Poitier. I mean, just very commanding voice. He was in some legendary films. And as far as a black man being a lead actor in Hollywood and in feature films and in plays, I mean, this guy, you want to talk about a fucking groundbreaker. Oh my Lord. People were talking about Sidney Poitier when I was a child in the 80s. Like he was like this mythical creature, and that's how I knew him, from all the stuff he had done on the stage and then in the screen. And of course, when I was, I didn't really see him too much in movies. I don't feel like I seen him publicly at all, but I saw a thing about him where he talked about how he didn't know how to read. He was a dishwasher in his 20s trying to act, and he couldn't fucking read. Okay. This is obviously a very long time ago. And a waiter that worked in the restaurant that he washed dishes in saw that he was trying to, become an actor. An old Jewish guy taught him how to read. And to watch Sidney Poitier talk about this man who taught him how to read, I mean, it's just, you can't not react to that shit, dude. You just can't. I mean, it's impossible. But what a groundbreaking, legendary person. Holy fucking shit. And, Bob Saget, for all of his, goofy TV stuff, kind of a legendary dude. Don't you think so, Sean?
Yeah, but even more so Betty White, man. I don't know anything about Betty White, really. Like, I'm just being honest. I never watched Golden Girls. I don't know anything about her. But just seeing how much it affected everyone from like all ages, I felt like I was the only one that just couldn't relate. I was like, oh shit, like she must have been a fucking lovely lady for everyone to be so,
You should look into her animal rights shit that she did. First of all, her civil rights.
I saw.
No joke. Yeah, civil rights too. She was no joke. Bisho, have you ever looked into any of that stuff? I mean, it's when you hear some of these stories about her, like what she was doing with segregation, and then with dogs. I mean, you might have been familiar with it. You might not.
Isn't there a famous story where someone tried to pressure her or give her shit for acting with black people, and she pretty much just told them to fuck off?
Yeah, the legend of the story is she said, "Go fuck yourself" or something.
Yeah, and this isn't like 1962 or some shit.
Yeah, it's I know that we like to walk around on Earth and pretend that everybody's been terrible except since 2020, but there are people like her, like Frank Sinatra, like people who really like this was a very visceral thing to them to get past segregation and inequality. And apparently she was one of those people. And by the way, the fact that we didn't know that about her shows actually how classy she was, and that she wasn't using it as a fucking way to get attention all of her life, like the way everybody else fucking does.
Right.
She didn't put a sign on her lawn and be like, I stood up for black people in 1962. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure it wasn't. I mean, obviously we don't know her, but we all feel like we did, and look, these are some iconic people. Like there's not going to be another Sidney Poitier. There's not going to be another Betty White. And there's not going to be another Bob Saget. It's funny to goof on Bob Saget. It's funny to make fun of the terrible TV show. Like I mean, like the guy's whole life was like a laugh track. You know what I mean? But the dude raised people. There are people like your guys' age, more so than mine, that are literally like, this fucking guy raised me. Wouldn't you say, Bisho?
Absolutely. And it's funny because I think it shows his range as a performer, though, because people always goof on him for being Goofy Dad and doing America's Funniest Videos and being so squeaky clean. But then when you look at his act, and I know everyone talks about this, but his act was not dirty. It was fucking raunchy.
Yeah, well, it wasn't always like that because when I was a kid, that you would rent VHS tapes from VHS stores, right? Like I know this is gonna sound fucking really, really prehistoric, but we would go to like not even this is pre-Blockbuster, yo. This was like your local, like there was a smoke shop, and that's where we rented the movies from, like a fucking tobacco shop. Half of it was a fucking video store in Sheepshead Bay called Tiamo Video. Tiamo was a smoke shop and you would rent VHSs, and you like Rodney Dangerfield would put out a thing called Young Comedians. And it was all people that were up and coming that Rodney was trying to push in like 82. And Bob Saget is on one of those tapes, I think possibly with Roseanne and Dice. So this would really give you some perspective on where I'm going here. But Bob Saget's act was fairly clean. Like it was good. It was observational stuff. He did like songs on a guitar and shit. And me and my friends, we thought the shit was funny in like 84, 85. So that's how he got, I was just going to say Saved by the Bell. Isn't that some shit? I just was going to say Bob Saget was on Saved by the Bell.
What a shame.
Can you imagine if Bob Saget was on Saved by the Bell? He was Mr. Belding or whatever. What is it? Full House. I'm so sorry. I just really didn't watch the show. But
Dude, I totally like Bob Saget. That's somebody I was familiar with, like that. Yeah. Even that though, man, I feel myself so like desensitized towards bad news that if it's not immediately like affecting me, I don't know. I sound like a dickhead, but like it doesn't register with me really.
Right.
Like, I just kind of like brush it off. It's just like, well,
I mean, like
it happens so much now too. It's just like, how do you process all? I don't know.
It does. I mean, look. Plus, also, guys, we're also talking about we're on year 2 of COVID and death and destruction and the apocalypse. So it's like old celebrities dying. If that doesn't get you any upset, of course I understand. You don't know the motherfuckers, but I also think that what we're starting to realize is a lot of these people are really not replaceable. Like they're not replaced. There's no equivalent of Sidney Poitier. Like, there's no one. There's no Betty White equivalent. You know what I mean? Do you think in 30 years you're gonna be talking about Rosie O'Donnell like fucking Betty White? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's nobody, even like Saget. Like there's no guy that's been on TV now that's gonna be on TV for 25 years in various like that mostly young people will watch. You know what I'm saying, Bisho?
Yeah, like my daughter watches Netflix and Disney Channel shows, and I can't imagine any of the parents on those shows like that we're holding in this high esteem. And Good Morning America calls America's dad. I don't see it.
Yeah. So I get it, and plus to be honest with you, and I know Shah's gonna fucking chime in here in 2 seconds. There's a lot of people dying that we know that aren't fucking famous, that are regular dudes and regular women who are just fucking dropping. You know what I mean? And it's just like, Jesus Christ. I just feel like there's no relief.
I think that's why it doesn't register with me, just because there's so much like real life shit that I'm trying to process in my brain cell. And I only have like 8 brain cells left. So there's only so much.
Well, you smoked all of them, yo.
I smoked all of them away. Them shits are gone, So there's so much there's only so much I can process, man. And I think just me I think I'm in a healthy spot in life. I think I'm happy with that. I just got to worry about myself right now, bro. Like I feel really bad that Bob Saget passed away, but I'm not gonna spend the next 4 days making posts about Bob Saget. Like that's just, I have other shit to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like other shit to worry about.
I see. Yeah, no, I feel you. I mean, look, I think.
And one more thing though, real quick, if you are making 4 posts about Bob Saget, like I'm jealous because that shows that you have nothing else to worry about. Yeah. Like I would love to have that.
Yeah. The luxury. I mean, one thing there's so much I think COVID has taught us. There really is. I think when we all 3 of us are gone, long gone, people will open up this point in history and be like, what the fuck were these people doing? Like, seriously, what the fuck was going on? I do feel like we're living through they say you're living in history. Like there's like that weird, whatever the fuck expression. We're living in some apocalyptic fucking history. We're living in shitty history. Yeah. Like we ain't living in great shit. I don't know what the fuck anybody else thinks is going on, but there's not a lot of positivity, I think, floating around. Like it's not as like abysmal as maybe it was in the middle of 2020, but that doesn't mean that shit is like awesome. Everything is not awesome. Like the Lego song, from the Lego movie, everything is awesome. Everything is not awesome. Wouldn't you say, Bisho?
For sure. 2022 is off to kind of a rocky start. I'm sitting here laughing, thinking about 70 or 80 years from now.
Yeah.
If people just discover our show and just like, what the fuck? Like we're the soundtrack to the end of the world. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah. And, I'm
amusing.
proud to be the look. I like being the soundtrack to the end of the world. I love it. Here's the thing. People could shit on us and say, oh, it's just like doom and gloom and doom and gloom. No, it's like it's yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I did like the shit is bad. Just bad shit. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I you can bury your head in the sand all you want to, but I think COVID
I think we
lost John. The apocalypse got him.
you got taken away.
The ghost of Betty White returned and said, "How dare you?"
No, I think he's back. He's back.
There we go.
Oh yeah, see, they were just trying to take me. They were just trying to take me and shit. Like to me, the fragility COVID like exposed the fragility of COVID exposed the fact that we're all fragile on anti-anxiety medication with bad skin and bad grammar and bad diets. Don't you think, Shah?
Yeah, I think COVID also brought out a lot of good things, though, man. Because a lot of people like self-reflected. I hope, anyway. Like I know a lot of. No, I know a decent amount of people. I know maybe it's just my circle. Maybe it's just my circle. I know a decent amount of people that did change through COVID a lot. You're right, though. For the most part, it did make people really selfish, but it also brought out the true colors in people. Like you really saw the selfishness in the people around you. You know what I mean?
You're one of the only people I know that improved their status.
Dude, COVID time did me well. I don't like
you cleaned up like a Persian pimp.
Yeah, I'm good at during the COVID time. I was happy.
Man. I made good money. Progressive pimp.
My life changed. Brand new start. I'm back. I start school on Monday. I don't give a fuck, man. I don't know. 2022 is starting off real weird though. So let's.
Well, I mean, it is 2020. Yeah, it's trying. See, here's the thing, Shah. You got your shit together in 2021, right? And then 2022 said, fuck this guy. We got to bring this guy back. How do we get him back?
Already tried.
Yeah. They were like, not so, like, 2022 said, hold my beer, Shaheen. Hold my beer.
You know what?
I'm sorry, Bisho, do you know people that got their shit together during the COVID times? Seriously?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know a lot of people that took the opportunity.
Can they talk to the people I know? That would be amazing.
Yeah, who the fuck are you around, dude? You don't know anybody that bettered their life?
Oh, pretend like you don't fucking know. Bisho, you know
a decent amount of
people. You know people who progressed?
Yeah. It wasn't all doom and gloom. I mean, there's people out there that it's just like anything else. There's a lot of loud motherfuckers who just took the opportunity to complain about everything under the sun on social media and not go out and not exercise or not whatever. You know what I mean? Like people were content staying in and just talking shit on the internet. And there's a lot of people that were more silent that were still going and doing shit that they would have done or trying to better themselves. It was like a never ending New Year's resolution where there's a ton of people who are going to be super loud and talking shit about, everything under the sun. But then there's other people that are silently just going about their business. So yeah, well, I know quite a few people that did get their shit together.
I can tell you, like, emphatically that the majority, with very few exceptions to none, the majority of ill motherfuckers that I know that do ill shit got 100 times worse during COVID. They did. They got 100 times worse. I think it exposed the fragility of their existence. So people I know that were in bad physical shape, mental shape, socioeconomical shape, that live in some fantasy world that they put on the internet and pretend that it's real. And anybody that tries to come at them with it, they just fucking run and hide. These motherfuckers got worse. They doubled down on the crazy. They doubled the fuck down on the crazy. They didn't meet the challenge of COVID head on. They basically said, this is a good excuse for me to continue to have a terrible life. What a great excuse. It's a fucking great excuse. I wish I knew people that said, hey man, I lost my job during COVID. So instead, you know what I really wanted to do? I wanted to become a chef. So I decided to start working. I started working in this restaurant. And now I'm like working as a line cook somewhere, and I'm trying to get myself into culinary school. That would be amazing if I read that about something. You know what I hear from people I know that have COVID? I didn't leave the house yesterday. I didn't leave the house the week before, and I'm probably not going to leave the house next week. And I might not shower again till the spring. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just know a lot of damaged fucking people. Trust me, I wish. me and my brother Mike talked about this privately, and I think I mentioned this on the air. But like when people started coming out of the house, we started to notice a trend in, we're older guys than you guys. Like people looked like they kind of threw everything at the fucking like out the window. You know what I mean? Like everything out the window, because they were home or because they couldn't do shit. But I'm one of these dudes who, like, when COVID hit, I lost my job. Around like when COVID really got really bad in 2020, like in the fall. And the one thing I said I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sleep all day. Like I'm not falling into the traps. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't put the TV on. Like there was like a 6-month period I didn't put the TV on until it got dark out. Like honestly, I just did not want to fall into the traps. You know what I mean? I still exercised. I still fucking stagnated in my eating. You know what I mean? I tried not to gain any weight. I didn't drink more. I didn't, do anything else more for that matter. I tried to actually, I took it as an opportunity to say, hey, maybe there's some shit I could do that I wouldn't be able to do. Like I cleaned out the garage and I cleaned out the basement, like that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying, Bisho?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I think there's a lot of people, like I said, that took the opportunity to not do stuff like that just because
Mm.
it's tough. Like I think I don't know who said it. Some comedian said, it's tough to not be a piece of shit because it's so easy. And when you have the excuse where you don't really have to leave the house for a while, if you don't have the motivation like you did or the discipline to say, you know what, I'm not going to just sit on the couch and be a lazy piece of shit, then I'm not going to turn the TV on until 6 o'clock. I'm not going to, let the garage go. And, I think it's very hard to do that. COVID gave people an excuse to not do it because I don't think anything was expected of them. It was like you said, people were just, okay, I'm going to be hanging out. I'm going to do whatever. Doesn't really matter. Nothing's getting better.
Tuesday at 3:00. I don't need pants. Who needs pants? Right, Shaw?
Yeah, fuck pants, dude. I live alone now, man. I barely ever wear pants.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
My
saying
neighbors hate it.
I've tried to figure out a way to combine the work clothes from the waist up with pajamas or sweatpants. I've kind of morphed into a half George. I'm George Costanza from the belly button down during the week now because I work from home. So I'm wearing Ugg slippers, wearing pajamas, but I'm putting on like the work shit from the top. Although this week I didn't shave because I haven't, like, once it gets single digits, I stop shaving. Almost like I'm out cutting down trees or some fucking shit. But that's me. That's what I do. So I wanted to tell you guys something. I actually wanted to because I've been listening to the Necromaniacs podcast so much. I actually said this weekend that just passed, which I forgot to tell you guys, I got double dosed, fucking checked out. I got Frank the Tank Friday and Saturday, by the way.
Oh.
I was in some bad shape. So Friday night, the Friday just passed, my wife and I made plans to go out with some neighbors that we hang out with. We have 2 sets of neighbors on the block that we're very close with, right? One's a much younger couple, the other one's a much older couple. We all hang out. The 3 couples hang out. So my wife and I went out with with the couple that's older, and we went to this restaurant. So I thought this was interesting. So there's this new restaurant that opened where I live that we've been hearing about that was delayed for COVID for like a fucking year. And it's in like a nice area. It's very close to where we live. So we made a reservation because we thought it was going to be crazy. The restaurant just opened Thursday. They were like on TV up here. They were promoting the shit out of it. It's a nice place, like American style restaurant. So we walk into the place 6:00 Friday, right? I already started boozing a little bit. And I walk into the place and it's nice. Like it's super really fucking nice. It's also super really fucking empty. I mean, like empty, like a quarter full. And this fucker just opened, right? And like I said, it's in a nice area. It's a nice menu. It looks like a good looking place, and I was like, whoa. And all of us were just kind of bummed out because we were like, well, how come nobody's here? You know what I mean? Like, it's weird that there's nobody fucking here. Food was great. Drinks were amazing. Fucking amazing drinks. Like the high-end drinks. But as the meal progressed and if you go out to dinner with people, you end up hanging out for a lot longer than you would otherwise in a restaurant. Like I used to be one of these people be like, I want to get in and out in an hour. I don't care if it's Nobu, Peter Luger's. I want to get in and get the fuck out. I'm going with the night. As you get older, you park your ass there and you fucking drink and you sit down like it's a wedding or something. Dude, nobody was in this place. It was kind of depressing because they had a full staff. you could smell the newness in the floor and the fucking it just was really, really nice bathroom, Spanish tile in the bathroom shit. And then we're sitting there and everybody's like, this place is gonna go under. It's gonna, like, can you imagine that shit? Like, it probably costs like fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars. But because of COVID and because of, I guess people, even the reluctancy of people that still want to go out and do social things, it might topple your restaurant even in 2022. You guys experiencing anything like that? Like, have you been going out anyway? Like, Shai, you were just in Baltimore, right? By the way, the food looked amazing. I love the food in Baltimore. Were places crowded?
Yeah. I don't know if I love the food, though. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. That shit is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
No,
well, you got to be drinking. It's like,
man. Yeah, you got to be drunk for that shit.
You got to be drunk.
Well, hold on. Let's, now that we're on this topic, have you ever had whole crabs? Not crab legs, like full blown fucking crab.
Well, I also grew up in Sheepshead Bay. Like, there's like the crab boats and shit. Like, I grew up like in like a fucking Guido fishing village, for Christ's sake. So
yeah, but I'm talking about just like they give you like a dozen full blown just crabs and they're untouched, just.
Well, you don't have to eat that shit. You can get different shit. I mean, you can get like fucking, yeah,
I know, but she's from Baltimore, so like they eat full crabs there.
Word.
So she
did you get the soft shell where you just eat the crab? We eat the whole
no.
Right, we had to. What I would do.
No, we had to deshell this thing, and let me tell you, when you deshell it and stab it, it's like the inside of it looks like a tarantula's in there. So there's all these fucking things that look like legs, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is that?" And she's like, "Oh, those are the lungs. You have to move the lungs." So I'm like, I think I'm good. How about you do this? And I just like stick to something else because this is not my God. I'm not doing this. So she moves the lungs, and then there's this shit that looks like mustard underneath it. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And she's like, well, those are the organs and the poop. They call it mustard.
The poop, it's like a stack, right?
Yeah, they love it. It's like, sweet. Dude, what the so she removes all this shit, and there's like a tiny little Skittle-sized piece of crab underneath all of this work just to dip it in the poop. I'm like, yo, and this shit was like $200, bro. I'm like,
yeah, it's expensive,
bro. What the fuck for nothing?
Yeah,
literally.
No,
nothing.
I get it. Yeah, but I grew up, like I said, I grew up in Sheepshead Bay. Like, it's like, dude, like crab, like that's kind of common. But it's not like Baltimore, like that commonplace. But it's like it's not that unusual. But now, Shad, that might explain why there's so much crime there because everybody's starving because they spend 45 minutes trying to get into something that they could barely eat.
I think the heroin, definitely helps.
Yeah, it's also the heroin trade. B-Show, are you crab fan?
Crab legs. I don't fuck with the whole crab shit, dude. No way.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. You got to know. Also, you got to get the hammer. You got to know what you're doing. Look, I'm not big on it, but I'm saying, like I said, where I grew up, it's not that unusual. Like clam bars, we're more like clams, and I'm not talking about the good clam that you put your penis in. I'm talking about like the clams they eat, like real clams, not like the clam as the euphemism, so to speak. What would they call it? The bearded clam. That was a big thing when I was a kid. But like, I don't like. You guys ever eat clams?
I've had it once and I'll never touch it. I just seafood for me is a no-go.
You don't like seafood, dude?
I don't really, man. Like this shit fucks me up, man, because it's basically sea bugs. Like shrimp or cockroaches to me.
You think you're eating sea bugs?
Yes, dude. Shrimp or fucking cockroaches. And like crabs and lobster.
Shrimp are great.
I'm
shrimp
sure.
Are fucking awesome. I had shrimp yesterday.
I've had them many times and they taste okay.
What about fish? You don't eat fish?
No, I'm okay with fish. Fish doesn't freak me out. I'm okay with fish. I love fish. And shellfish is basically what fucks me up. I can't do shellfish or anything like octopus. I didn't that.
You don't like octopus?
No, dude, I can't.
Well, I'm also a wop, so it's like
you do calamari and all that shit.
Of course, octopus, dude. But even like a squid, like fried squid. You never like fried squid?
It's like chewing on a tire.
Awesome. Nah, you got but this you got to get the B-Show. Are you a seafood guy?
I like shrimp. I like crabs. I like lobster. I'm not a fan of like mussels and clams and shit.
Yeah, that's big where I'm from. That's big.
Yeah, and what you just said,
Mussels
squid. When we went to Mexico one time, we got a seafood soup, and they had pieces of like octopus or squid in it, and it was the most rubbery shit I've ever had in my life. It was gross.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Look, it's like anything else, right? Like, if you get a burger in a nice restaurant, you expect the burger to be better than in a fucking, in a Wendy's, right? Seafood's the same shit too. If you get shitty low level seafood It could possibly fucking murder you. You know, that's another thing too. You could probably fucking get sick and die. But I like seafood. You know, Italians, we like the seafood shit. You know what I mean? We eat that seafood shit. Shot, that pictures of the food you took looked amazing to me, man. I was like, oh, I was fucking bugging out. I was like, oh man, this dude's going off.
Fuck, man. I mean, yeah, I told you it was like $200 some, bro. It better fucking look good. I
Damn.
honestly, I couldn't really eat any of it. I couldn't fuck with it, man. I wanted to try something new, and then once they brought it out, I was like, whoa, I'm going home hungry. I can tell you that right now.
Wow,
And I went
that
home.
sucks.
Well, I went home and I got fucking gas station tacos for $5, and I enjoyed that more. That's how you know I'm a Gemini, dude. I'll fucking spend like $300 on crabs and buy $5 worth of tacos, and be happy with that.
Well, I would prefer tacos. No, I don't think I would. I would prefer seafood. I don't know. Bisha, would you go with tacos over seafood?
Yeah, I mean, it depends because a real good lobster is a really good lobster.
Oh my fucking God.
But
Jesus.
I do love me some Mexican food for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. This place I went to, they had a small menu. And again, it's a nice place. I'm not trying to throw it on the bus, but the appetizers were better than the food. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the appetizers are like a 9, and then your meal's like a 6. And you're like, well, that kind of defeats the purpose. And then they would bring out these big desserts. And I was just like, nah, I'm just going to keep drinking. Thank you. So I'm a little in the bag, from this restaurant. I'm full. Then we come home, and the other neighbors that didn't come, my wife calls to invite over to hang out because the kids were gone. Because my kids have been here 24/7, and I'm ready to fucking just drown myself. Like, honestly, it's nightmarish. They're just here all the time. I don't know. Like, they're just here all the time. Because one's on a break from college, and the other one had COVID, so she couldn't go to school. So it's like 24/7 children constantly. But they both were sleeping out Friday and Saturday. And I was like, this is the fucking bomb. This is going to be amazing. Dude, I sat on my couch and got so fucking destroyed. Like, I literally just, both booze, well, some other things, but like destroyed. Like, normally I'll have like 3 beers and like a mixed drink. I had like 9 Guinnesses and like 2 huge like mixed drinks and some other stuff. And I could barely get off the couch. And this was Friday. And all I kept thinking about was, oh, it's Friday. I never do this on a Friday. I'll probably not want to do it on Saturday. And no chance. I was lit like a fucking, like a house fire on Saturday, like bombed beyond words, like drinking like old fashions. And what I wanted to do was, I'm just setting up the story. I wanted to watch horror movies over the weekend. So Mike from the Necromaniacs podcast told me to watch a couple of horror movies. So I watched Censor, which was on everybody's top list for 2021. The movie Censor.
I just got that.
Yeah, I just watched it. I watched My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To, which was also on a lot of people top lists, which is on Shudder. And I watched, what the fuck was the name of that movie, B-Show? I'm struggling with it.
I can't remember now. I got to go back and look.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It was, the title's kind of weird. It was it's like a revenge house movie. Weird movies. I recommend all of them. I'm going to start with Censor. I'm not going to tell you too much about the movie. This is a very artsy. If you like, let me tell you, me and Shah, like we and Bisha would talk about hipster horror, right? This is a pretty hipster movie, but the premise of this movie, Censor, is I want to say it's a woman in the 80s who is an actress who I recognize. I think she's Irish. From some HBO show where she plays like an android. She's got a very interesting look. So she's a horror movie censor dealing with like the rash of like really hardcore horror movies that were hitting the UK, I guess, in the early 80s. Like, like slasher movies were becoming big. And her sister is missing, and she's convinced her sister was kidnapped by a horror film director to put in movies. And dude, it's a crazy movie. I'm not really selling it well. Maybe one of the better acted horror movies I've seen in a long time. Highly recommend it, but it's not for everybody. Then I watched My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To. This is if anybody has Shudder, I really think you need to watch this as soon as possible. Dude, you guys are going to love this movie, man. I'm not going to tell you too much about it. There's maybe 5 speaking parts in the movie. One of them is an actor you might recognize. He was the kid in the movie Almost Famous. I don't know his fucking name. He's done some other stuff. He was in a Showtime thing based on, I think, maybe a Joe Hill book or something, Stephen King's son. But my heart can't beat unless you tell it to. Yo, guys, you gotta watch this movie. I'm just telling you right now. You guys have to watch this movie.
This is new?
This is brand new. It's on Shudder. It was on a lot of people's lists. It was in the Necromaniacs. The guys recommended it. I think maybe my brother. Dude, I'm not going to ruin the movie for you. You got to watch the movie. It's so fucking bizarre. Here's what I'm going to tell you about the movie. They're 3 siblings. They live together, right? And 2 of them have to do things to help the third one because he's got some problems. That's all I'm going to say about the movie. And I'm underselling it. Very good acting in this movie. Fucked up premise, fucked up movie. You're going to remember this movie when you see it. You're going to fucking remember. Highly recommend it. I'm glad my brother told me about both these movies. Now, this third movie I watched, this horror movie, and I'm so sorry I cannot remember the goddamn name. It's called For the Sake of Vicious. I think it's Canadian. This is a fucking cool movie, man. Let me just tell you right now. I have never seen people get stabbed like this in a film ever. I have never seen, this is a hyper violent film. I mean, like, this is like fucking Clockwork Orange violence. I'm totally serious here. Not a great film, like written wise or whatever like that. I don't want to ruin anything for this too, because it's like a weird plot. But basically, a guy kidnaps another dude who he thinks raped his child and brings him to a home of a nurse because he plans on torturing the fucking guy, right? And the nurse is involved in the story somehow. And the guy calls a bunch of gang people to help get him out of the house. Yo, the stabbings, the close-up violence, the blood in this movie, you're gonna remember this shit.
Is the guy supposed to look like Hitler?
No, that's blood coming out of his nose.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the mustache.
Yeah,
I was
no.
like,
now I looked up some of these people, and I'll tell you why I did. I'm a little bit of a snob when it comes to entertainment. The acting in this, I thought, was pretty unforgivably bad. That being said, I think these people all have worked together before. I don't know a lot about this movie's getting a lot of heat right now. Like, it's getting a lot of heat. It's Canadian. Plot, nowhere near the plot of the other 2 movies. But if you when you see this movie, the fucking the amount of violence, I mean, unreal. And there may be only about 10 people in this movie too, by the way. And they're all just stabbing the fucking shit out of each other. Like hacking and stabbing and hacking and stabbing. Blood everywhere. It's a fun fucking movie. I just wish the acting wasn't like, you know, Saigon prostitute, like 1967, you know, like level. It's pretty bad. This is like, Bisha, I'm telling you right now, like if your son put on a full production of like Rent, the acting would be better in your son's, you know, I'm not joking. I don't like the guy. And the thing is this too, it's a heavy story and it's so violent and dude, the music, wait till you hear the music, man. It's got like this like 80s kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. Watch every one of these fucking movies. You cannot, I'm telling you guys, right? If I could tell you to watch one of them, I would probably tell you my heart can't beat unless you tell it to, because it's so fucking crazy. It's just so crazy.
I co-signed Censor. I've seen Censor. That's amazing.
Yeah. What did you think of the ending? Pretty fucking nuts, right?
That I thought it was pretty. I thought it was
Saint Maudish, right? A little Saint Maud on that ending, I thought.
Yeah.
I don't want to give the plot away, but the craziness, because I'm not entirely sure I understood the ending. Not entirely sure.
I mainly liked the throwback to like the Grindhouse.
That's my brother Mike was in.
I love that shit, dude.
B-Show, you'll love that too. I mean, because I think they pepper in real movies, right? Shot like real 80s snuff movies.
So. What's going on here? What the fuck is happening?
This is the music, right?
Okay. I was about to say, what the fuck is happening right now?
Dude, this is good shit.
I'm drinking, dude. You gotta give me a warning.
Oh, sorry.
You freak me out. I was like, oh shit, is there demons coming out of this house?
Yeah. And by the way, if you haven't listened to Necromaniacs, this is the kind of shit they do. They find these movies, they talk about them in full detail, they review the fucking shit out of them, and you know, and they're never like, you know, they're never really disappointing. I mean, I wouldn't know about so many great movies. Like, so many movies would have went under my radar if it wasn't for Necromaniacs. I'm not even joking. I'm not even saying it because it's my fucking brother. B-Show, I'm telling you, I have a feeling B Show, this is the one you would want out of all three of these. This is the one you're gonna say, yeah, this was the best one.
Just for the music alone, that's like dark synthwavy shit. I listen
Yeah,
to that stuff
yeah.
all the time.
Oh, dude, you're gonna be shitting your pants. You'll probably watch this again. And by the way, Shah, this is gonna be a big movie for you, I think too. I'm telling you. I thought of you guys watching all these movies because Shah, I knew you had Censor. I didn't know you'd watched it.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I love Censor, dude. I've been meaning to watch it for a long time, just because people said it was based around like what do they call those movies in
Mike would know. My brother would. My brother would know.
Something. Video nasties. Video nasties.
Yeah. I was trying to think, Shah, like one of the, is that like, was Driller Killer one? Like I was trying to think of some of those movies. Bisho, you're gonna love like the 80s. Like she's watching, like I think she's watching some real movies from the early 80s.
Yeah, like Slumber Party Massacre and shit.
Well, no, it's like
UK ones.
Well, they're not UK movies. They're not UK movies. They're just movies that the UK banned. There was about 80 or 90 movies that they completely said, like Cannibal Holocaust, stuff like that, where they were just like, these are not coming to the country. So those movies really got a lot of hype behind it, and people, used to trade fucking VHS tapes across the world just to see these movies. So
it was like bestiality porn and shit. They were treated. No, they really treated it like it
Maniac
was
one.
Thing.
Maniac
was on the list. Yeah, Maniac was on the list.
That's a good one.
And my brother told me, I think, Shah, I don't know if this is correct, so forgive me if I'm wrong. Isn't there something special on the DVD, like fake trailers or something like that? I feel like there might be something like that for like the box set or something.
I can see that because Vinegar Syndrome put it out. So Vinegar Syndrome does a lot of cool like special features, but I honestly, dude, I never watched the bonus content, so I don't even look at it. I'm sure they do have something cool though.
Yeah, be sure you're gonna like this movie, man.
This looks awesome.
Oh, you'll love it, dude. It's really cool. It's nice. I really like it. I like
maybe one of the better acting performances in a horror movie I've seen in a very long time.
It's a nice balance because it's a throwback because of the video nasty vibes, but it's also artsy. Like it looks good, so it's it doesn't look old.
Yeah, I think I don't know the woman who made this. I don't know if she's made other films. I know that that some of these might be first-time directors. I don't know, but let me tell you, man, horror is looking really good right now. I am so happy with where horror is. Wow, 89% Rotten Tomatoes. Prano Bailey Bonds. Wow, that's an interesting name. Oh, she's from the UK. She's 40. British Independent Films. She made a movie called Nasty.
What? That's why she made this movie, because she's from the UK. So the video nasties were probably something she grew up wanting to watch. So that's like, that's cool. I love that.
Okay, I think the short might predate this movie, Nasty. Wow. Yeah, dude, there's good shit out there, man. I have more faith in horror, I think, than any other genre right now, to be honest with you. I don't have faith in comedy. I feel like comedy's done. I just feel like there's just too much scrutiny on comedy. It's funny how horror has escaped this current mindset. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like honestly, like these are, when you guys see all these movies, if you watch even one of these other two movies, especially if you watch The Sake of Vicious, you're gonna be like, this is a fucking bloodbath gore fest. Like holy shit. That is the kind of movie that I think people would try to ban. I'm not even joking. Like, like unironically, I think. And it's like, and if you're someone who has a problem with like squeamishness, like my wife, that would be like torture for my wife to watch that movie. Dude, the stabbings, they just keep stabbing each other over and over again. It's just like, make it stop.
What's the one movie that you love?
Martyrs.
Yeah. Is it
like Martyrs? It reminded me of Martyrs.
Like the violence is crazy.
Ultra violence. I'm not underselling the violence. I gotta see this now. If you're like the kind of movie saying, yo, I like violent movies, you should make sure you get Shudder, even if it's just for a trial, because the 2 of the 3 movies you're going to watch better be that. And My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It to. But I got to tell you, My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It to. I watched it a little fucked up, Shah, like, when you do that, I regretted that decision. I regretted watching it a little fucked up.
See, I don't like watching movies fucked up. It doesn't do anything for me. It takes me out of it. Like I can't focus and shit. I feel like I'm like, I don't know. Are you? How do you enjoy it more fucked up?
I don't know, because I'm fucked up, but like I just feel like it's like they're like, let's get really high and watch the Dark Side of the Pink Floyd The Wall, like like when I was a kid that was a thing, or let's what was the thing they used to do? We did it in the 80s. you start you put on Wizard of Oz and Dark Side of the Moon at the same time and take like a bunch of mushrooms or some shit. I just remember that was a thing. It never works out the way you want it to. You know what I'm saying? But you know what movie you know what movie I watched fucked up for the during the pandemic, I guess for Christmas last year? What's that Pixar movie that Jamie Foxx is in where he plays like the jazz musician who died and Trent Reznor does the fucking score?
Oh, I'll find it.
Soul?
Hang on.
Soul,
yeah.
Yo, listen to me. Soul's amazing. It's fucking great. I haven't seen that many Pixar movies. It might be one of two I've ever seen, but I got fucked up and watched that Christmas Day, and because the music is so trippy, and it's kind of a trippy cartoon. I highly recommend it, man. I highly, I don't keep if you're like me and like a Pixar movie makes your penis go to the inside place because just like nobody's cursing and nobody's getting fucked up or killed. I don't want to watch. This is probably one of the best one. This is like everyone loves this movie anyway, but you get a little fucked up and put this on and put that TV up, the volume up a little bit with that soundtrack. Telling you, man. I'm telling you. It's fun as shit. It's a good time. Did either one of you guys see this? It's so good.
I haven't, but
It's
about
it's
13,
amazing.
14 years I smoked Dipper, which is wet. And we watched Alice in Wonderland, and I felt like I was drowning in my own sweat because I was sweating my balls off out of just being terrified. You know the scene where they're like swimming in the water and they're
Yeah.
I felt like I was dying. I literally
well, that's how you
can't.
know it's work. That's how you know the drugs have kicking in. You know
Oh,
what
it
I'm
kicked
saying?
in, bro.
That's
It definitely
kicked
kicked in. Oh, they kicked in. Yeah, they were fucking. Yeah, it kicked in.
Bisho, have you watched Soul? It's great.
Oh yeah, I've seen it a couple times. It's really, and I know what you mean about the music. It's
Music.
very.
Oh,
How do you describe it? It's
don't know. I honestly don't know. It's like Prague. You can tell it's Trent Reznor. Like it's just
Wait.
weird for a G movie. I don't know.
See, I've only heard like the jazzy music. I don't know what you mean about the Prague stuff.
No, like the yeah, not when he's playing music. The score, it's Trent Reznor and somebody else. It might be his
The
score
soundtrack.
partner. Yeah. Like I'm not talking about like when they are in the jazz club and stuff. That stuff's cool as fuck. But I'm talking about like the earthy, like airy stuff in between. Man, I'll tell you right now, for that sake of Vicious, if there's a soundtrack, I would buy it. I would throw it on my fucking phone in 2 seconds. That shit's real good. It's fun, man. It's fun. Like I feel like, I'm so let down by mainstream things. And this is something I wanted to ask you guys about, but in the last like 4 or 5 months, right? You've had South Park come back and do 2 episodes, but they're on Paramount. You had like It's Always Sunny, right? You had Curb. You had I had Letterkenny come back, and I think I'm forgetting something else big that came back. And I gotta say, all of these things seemed pretty underwhelming to me. Like I don't know what it was, and I didn't like Sha. I know you're big on It's Always Sunny. 90% of my friends are big on It's Always Sunny. Saw very few people talking about it. I know a lot of people that watch like fucking Letterkenny. Saw almost no one talking about it. The South Park episodes, very few people talking about it. Mostly they were just complaining that it was on Paramount Plus, even though you could have probably got it for free if you really wanted to watch it. The Curb season, kind of underwhelming, like kind of fucking underwhelming. Do you think maybe a lot of this stuff, time has passed by? Or are we all just moving on? Were these things what they owe? Like, for example, all of us watched Curb, for example, right? I know a lot of people have given up on Curb, or maybe they're not as familiar with it. Didn't this feel sort of incomplete, Sha? Like it just didn't like it kind of peaked maybe 2nd or 3rd episode, and then it never kind of got back there.
Well, it never really finished. Like I couldn't believe that was the last episode. I was like, oh, that's it. Like it's a wrap for this season. But I think because I agree with you. I think Always Sunny this season, the 2020 episode, I thought was fucking brilliant. It was like one of their best episodes. But the rest of the season, I was like, meh. Like I could give it or take it. It's
Rick and Morty too, by the way. I wanted to put them in that category.
Yeah, South Park, all that shit.
South Park, yeah, like everything felt underwhelming. Bisho, what did you think of Curb?
Hold on 1 second. Before we move on, I think the reason is though because everyone's so paranoid about getting canceled. I think it takes the motivation behind the comedy out of it. Like as far as Always Sunny, they have a podcast out now, right? I listened to the podcast. Every fucking episode, They're apologizing for shit they did on previous episodes.
You've got to don't tell me that. I'll never watch again.
Not like they're almost like trolling
like ham-fisted apology, like
like
sorry.
trolling right,
okay.
Like trolling people, but
cool.
you can tell they're paranoid though, because like that takes the comedy out of the future. You know what I mean? Because like now they're like, well, we couldn't do this now, so it's like, well, that really limits you as far as creativity. So I think Always Sunny, that really fucking derailed the show because their creativity is really just like fucking, they took the balls out. But Curb, I think he's just tired, man. He's old. He's burned out. It's it's kind of a wrap for him, dude.
It might be time for me to take the mantle.
Yeah,
it might be time. Yeah. Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, you should play young Larry. You know what I mean?
I should have. That's the thing when they were talking about the young Larry. I was like, can we get like 40-year-old Larry? Like 40. I can maybe not play 40. I'm starting to get old man face. We'll talk about that another time. But Bisho, did you feel underwhelmed by a lot of these things? Any of these things that you watched? Like the buildup just didn't live up to the hype or whatever.
I like the second half of the Rick and Morty, but that's also because like I forgot that it came out, ended up having to watch it back and streamed it all in a week. So I thought it was all right.
But it didn't blow you away. You weren't like, oh, this is amazing. I need to talk about it.
No, and it's starting to get to the spot where South Park was at, where it moves past just being funny, and now it's so layered that it's like, it's a lot heavier than it was before. Like, spoiler alert, with Rick being revealed as, helping create the Citadel of Ricks, and then they go into why. So it's like, the characters are all changing, and they showed that, but it's almost changing away from what it kind of was. It's like, it's the same way I felt watching the Boba Fett series. I figured out why people aren't hip to that right now.
That's another thing I was going to bring. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Very little heat on it. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's just not as good as fucking The Mandalorian. So what the fuck?
I think with Mandalorian, people thought they were getting Boba Fett and it was something different. So it went off and did its own thing and ended up being a surprise hit. Now they're doing Boba Fett, but he's not really Boba Fett. I mean, it's not in line with the original character. And I just think with some people, I think Mandalorian was able to get away from that and do its own thing, whereas people had expectations for Boba Fett, and I like it, and I like what they're doing with like the mafia style shit. It's kind of cool.
It's interesting. It's very like Asian, like samurai kind of shit. Like you know what I mean? Like,
and it's like they're setting up the dominoes, and now they're about to fall, which is cool because I like slow burn stuff. But yeah, no, you're right. It seems like every hot property just kind of
lukewarm.
Yeah. Or like
no, it's true, right? I mean, I if you don't agree, I would understand. But the fact that even like you're like, I didn't even know you finished that Rick and Morty because we never talked about it. You see what I'm saying? Like I didn't know, I didn't know It's Always Sunny was a wrap because nobody was really talking about it after the first episode. You know what I mean? Like even Dexter, like I don't watch Dexter. I thought they really jumped the shark with that show. But this is another show that when it came on, it was like people like, it's exciting, but maybe it's not that as exciting. You know what I mean? Because then I'm wondering, I was going to ask you guys, is it us? Do you think there's just so much reality and horror and fucking abysmal shit going on that even like It's Always Sunny and South Park and Rick and Morty and, The Simpsons or whatever the fuck, all these things coming back and you still aren't satisfied? Is it us or is it the labor isn't there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Sha, you think it's because they don't want to get canceled? I can tell you right now, Trey Parker and Matt Stone are in no worry of getting canceled by anybody about anything. I really never would believe that.
Yeah, but dude,
they're not like Kevin
creative
Smith
juices. Yeah, the creative juices are drying, man. I mean, how many years can they keep doing the same thing and come up with new material? Although I will say, I thought COVID was going to be like their best season. I was like, dude, this is the one where they can fucking run off with it and do the best they can and honestly put out some classics. And then I watched the special. I was like, that was all right, I guess. It didn't really move. Yeah,
like it didn't blow you away, right? You thought you were going to be blown away. You thought you were going to be watching it again, talking to people about it. And none of this shit fucking happened. And I'll tell you guys something else too, like Yellowstone. Like you guys don't watch it. But when the show aired, even though it wasn't streaming, 14 million people watched it, okay? 14 million people watched a show that wasn't streaming, that isn't on regular television. Major heat, right? But as it progressed, I guarantee you, a lot of people just checked out because they're like, I thought it'd be better. It was interesting. And even when that ended, like I'm a big fan of that show. It's my favorite show. And I'm like, that didn't feel like an ending. That just felt like a regular episode. That's what I'm saying with all these shows. None of them felt like endings to me. Curb didn't feel like an ending. The South Park things didn't feel like it was that special. Rick and Morty certainly didn't feel like an ending to me. From what I heard about It's Always Sunny, a lot of people were like, They loved it when it first started, like the season started, and then they talked about it less and less. You know, do you guys think it's just also you're competing now with so much reality, you know, so many fucking problems, so much like craziness on Earth, so much apocalyptic shit that it would be almost impossible to just kind of substitute what's going on in real life with a TV show or a movie?
I will say though, I think Always Sunny out of all of them still had the best season. Like I still enjoyed Always Sunny. It just wasn't one of their best seasons. It wasn't bad though. I didn't watch any episode and was like, man, like, every episode I found myself laughing, but you can definitely tell they're towing the line. Like they're watching what they're doing.
Really?
You know?
That's disappointing because that's
a
the
little
reason
bit.
why the show that's disappointing.
Well, dude, like the earlier, I mean, it shouldn't be disappointing because like the earlier fucking seasons, they just can't do that, dude. Like there was straight up racist ass episodes. They can't do that nowadays. It's just not.
That's happening. But I don't know how much. I mean, I don't remember. It's going back a long time, and there's been a lot.
They literally had an episode saying the gang went racist, like the whole fucking episode.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, the gang. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, they were like blackface. Like they can't do that anymore, man.
D and blackface. I vaguely remember D and blackface.
They can't. Oh no, that was the Puerto Rican episode.
Oh,
yeah, they've done a lot, dude.
Oh,
yeah, they've done a lot, dude. They can't do that stuff anymore. They just can't.
They just can't. That shit. Yeah, but
I can't be mad at them for that. Like they can't do that. Even if they want to, the producer, I mean, like the television, like what is it, FX? They're not gonna put that out, dude. There's no way. There's no way they're gonna put that out.
I don't know. Bisha,
Times have changed.
Bisha, do you think it's you think it's us? Do you think it's the entertainment, or do you think maybe a lot of these people just are not giving the effort they used to give to make us laugh?
I don't know. I think it's a mixed bag because like Sunny felt funny in doses, but it almost felt like they almost like they start the momentum wise. They started a season. It almost feels like they got halfway through and then kind of started another season. And like it almost felt like certain stuff wasn't wrapped up, but they started new developments. And I almost feel like Larry needs a win. And I know it's against
Curb. You talk about Curb. I thought you said Sunny.
I'm sorry, Curb. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
Sorry. But I think Larry needs a win because like the show has essentially been him trying to get a show going and all the stuff that happens in between for like fucking 20 seasons now. So like I think at some point, like even though he's a dick and even though like he's got to lose out because he gets in his own way, something's got to happen for him at some point to kind of give you that like clean slate because it's constantly a downer and that's great, but it's been like 20 seasons or whatever. So like, come on, the other guys. I'm with Shaw, Matt and Trey. There's only so long you can go. Sunny, I didn't see, but South Park, I didn't even watch. After the pandemic special, I thought it was weak.
Same. Yeah. After that, I gave up.
Yeah. It was like teed up for him. I thought, here it is. It's teed up. It's right there. Yeah. You're the guys.
I know.
And then they just kind of like.
How do you miss?
They got the alley-oop, man. They got the alley-oop and dropped the ball, bro.
How do you miss? You take the shot. Take the fucking shot.
The actual apocalypse was like the perfect thing for South Park.
It really was.
Made for South Park. This is literally what South Park was made for, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you guys think it,